Hey guys, welcome to class. Today we're going to focus on lesson 11, and within lesson 11, we're going to really look at some percentage contexts and percentage things that you may have to deal with, whether in finance, in the real world, in business, and things like that. This is going to be heavily vocabulary, or there's going to be a lot of vocabulary in here. Some you may recognize, some you may not. So it is very beneficial for you to take notes while you are watching. So today you will definitely need your pencil, your workbook, and your Chromebook for both the video and for any calculator reasons you need. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be talking about percentage context today, and I'm splitting this up into 2 days since this is so vocabulary heavy and there is quite a bit of vocabulary in this lesson. I split it up into 2 days so that you guys aren't overwhelmed with vocabulary. Okay, so we're going to learn, like I said, more situations that involve percentages. Some of the big ones we're going to talk about: commission, interest. Interest we've actually already talked about. We're going to focus on it some more as well. Markups and discounts. Really, with today, we're really only going to focus on markups and discounts. And then on Monday, we're going to be focusing on commission and interest. Okay, so our warm up for today, leaving a tip. So, what I want you to do, I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. I want you to decide which of these represents a 15% tip on top of a $20 meal. And which of these represents the total bill. So you've got to decide which of these represents just the tip and which of these represents the tip and the bill together. Okay, so think about what a tip is. Remember, it is an increase. I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. Make sure you have reasoning as well, not just picking random numbers or letters. Okay, 2 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and begin. Okay, that is our 2 minutes. Let's look at these. So the first thing to talk about really here is that it's a 15% tip. So we got to remember, percent is always out of 100. So it's always going to be 15 out of 100. So there's a couple ways we can write that. We can write it 15 out of 100. We can also write it as 0.15. So if we are just finding the tip, we're going to be looking for 15 out of 100 of 20, so times 20, or 0.15 times 20. So when we look over here, we can see that here this is 15 out of 100 times 20, so that's got to be the tip. Okay. And then we don't have any here that's just 0.15 times 20. Now we do have one that's 20 plus 0.15 times 20, but we'll get into that. Okay, so we've gotten the ones that are just the tip. But if we're wanting to represent the total bill, we want to look at the total amount. So not only are they going to be paying the 15%, but they're also going to be paying the $20. So you're going to be doing $20 plus the 15% tip. So we know 15% tip is 0.15. So we have one that's 0.15 times 20 here, plus 20. So this one would be the total. And this one too actually would be the total as well. Okay. The reason why this one would be the total is because you have one whole amount of the 20 plus 0.15 of the 20. Or you can think of it as 115%. 115%, the percent overall.
So let's go ahead and check our work here. Okay, so the first one we said we didn't use it all, so let's check. So the first one here, so we got total and total, so we were right on those. This one is the tip, and that top one was not used at all. The top one was not used at all. Okay. So that brings us into our main activity for today, a car dealership. Okay, a car dealership. So we're going to be using some vocabulary words here that you may possibly recognize, some that you may not. Okay, the first word that we're going to talk about here is markup. Markup. Okay, so when we look at this word, I want you to look at this word and I want you to think, okay, what in this word markup could tell you, like without reading the rest of this, that what this word could possibly mean. Like if you broke down this word, what within that word could tell you that, hey, that's what it means. If you look and if you said, hey, I have up, so that means something's going to be going up. And we know we're talking about money here, so something about money is going to be going up. You would be right, because it does say a markup is a percentage that businesses often add to the price of any item they sell. So they add this item to the price. Okay. The way I explain it to my Accelerate kiddos and the way I'll explain it to you guys is this. So let's say you own a t-shirt store, right? So t-shirt store. So at your t-shirt store, you're going out and you're buying t-shirts to sell, and you purchase a t-shirt for $4. You purchase a t-shirt for $4. Okay. Are you going to sell that t-shirt for $4? No, you're not. Why? Why would you not sell it for $4? Yeah, you won't make any money if you just sell it for $4 because you're selling what you bought it for. So what they will do is they will mark up the price. And so what you see, so this is what they call the wholesale price. What you see is what they call the retail price. Okay, you talk about like retail stores. And for example, on that t-shirt, the retail price might be $8. So that way they're making money. Okay, that's the idea of a markup. In this case, this would be a 100% markup because 100% is $4. So $4 more is going to be 100% more. So on the other hand, you have one that you probably are a little bit more aware of, the idea of a markdown. It's also called a discount. A discount, markdown, those are all the same thing. So markdown, it's they're taking off of a given price. So going back to that t-shirt scenario, so you bought the t-shirt for $4 as a business. You originally priced it as $8. Well, this is just like a kind of like a summery t-shirt. Now it's wintertime and you still have some of those t-shirts left and you still want to get them off the shelf. So what you do is you say, well, I'm going to put this on the clearance rack, and instead of $8 now, it's going to be $6. In that sense, you're still making money, but you mark down your price. You said, hey, $8 was my original price. So $8 was my 100% in that case, because that's how much you were originally selling it for. And I marked it down to $6. So with that, you could solve this proportion and solve exactly how much you marked it down by. So 100 divided by 8, which is 12.5, and then we're going to take 12.5 and multiply it by 6, and you get 75%. But here's the key, it wasn't 75% off, because that would be a lot off. It's actually because it's taken off, so it's a decrease. So because it's a decrease, you got to subtract it. So it's 25% off. 25%. Okay, so that's the idea of a markup and markdown. You will see this idea of a markup and markdown
within this activity. Okay. So like I said, with the markup, when items, cars, clothes, etc. are being sold, they are different prices for which they are sold. So you have two different prices you will see here, a wholesale price and a retail price. A wholesale price is what the business buys it for. So thinking about that t-shirt company again, $4 is the wholesale price. The retail price is what you, the customer, buys it for. So the $8 was the retail price. So for example, a car company could buy a car or a dealership could buy a car from the car company for, let's say, $5,000. And then, but on the sticker, on the price on the window, it says $10,000. They're doing that, like I said, to make money. The retail price would be $10,000. The wholesale price would be $5,000. Okay. So what you are going to do is you're going to begin working on this activity. 11.2, it's on page 69. And you're going to try to figure out, hey, how much will the car, like if we know how much, what percentage the markup is, could you figure out how much they're going to mark it up and what's the new price going to be? Okay. And using these definitions, I want you to work to solve 11.2 on page 69. So I'm going to set a timer. We'll do 4 minutes. And remember, if you need more time, you can always pause the video after you're done. Okay, so 4 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and solve 11.2. Okay, that is our 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and talk about these questions now. Okay, so here's our problem. Move this guy out of the way. A car dealership wants to make a 32% profit. Okay, so that means they want to make 32% of their money, 32% over what they paid. By how much will they mark up the price of the vehicle? So we know they're going to mark it up by 32%. So we know the vehicle costs $12,000. So $12,000 is my 100% because that's my OG amount. $32. Oh, whoops. I messed up. $100. There we go. And we're trying to find out how much they're going to mark it up by. And we know the percentage is 32%. Okay, so now we have our proportion set up and we can go ahead and solve it. 12,000 divided by 100 is 120. And now we're going to take 120 and multiply it by 32. So 120 times 32. And you should get $3,840. So they're going to mark it up by that much, okay? So that we know now how much they're going to mark it up by. So after the markup, I want to know what's the retail price. Like, what are you, the customer, going to pay? Okay, so $12,000 is what they bought it for. $3,840 is what they're going to mark it up by. So to find the retail price, we're just going to add these two together. Okay, so after the markup, because remember, our markup is an increase. So we're going to add it together. So 12,000 plus 3,840 is $15,840. So that's how much it's going to say on the vehicle, $15,840. Okay, so we're going to keep that number in mind, actually, 15,840, because we're going to actually use it here on this next problem. Question number 2. Question number 2 says, hey, we know that the price of the car for you originally was $15,840, but you know what? They were nice enough and they said, you know what? We'll give you a 10% discount. It's a markdown, a discount. So you guys should know that word discount. The word discount, you probably see it quite a bit, especially with Black Friday being here very so recently. You probably saw the word discount quite a bit. Okay, so we want to know how much will they pay for the vehicle after this discount. Okay, so I don't want to know how much the discount is. I want to know how much will they pay for the vehicle afterwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve it. So we have $15,840. That's our OG amount in this case. And notice, so our original 100% is changing because of the different scenario. In this scenario, when we read it again, it says that, hey, now we want to know it's 10% off of this price. So we want to make that one our 100%. So that's our 100%. And it's going to be a 10% discount. So we're going to take it away in the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve it. 15,840 divided by 100 is 158.4. And now we're going to take this times 10 and get 1,584. Okay. And notice that's the discount amount. That's not how much you're going to pay for the car, because that would be ridiculous if you paid that much for a car. I would love to pay that much for a new car. Okay. But because it's the discount, we're going to take it away from this much. So you have 15,000 $840 minus $1,584, and you get the new total amount of $14,256. So that's how much you would pay. Okay. So the big thing here, guys, is that you know and recognize that, hey, if I'm dealing with a markup, then it's going to be, I'm going to be adding it on to the price. If I'm dealing with a markdown, if I'm dealing with a discount, I'm going to be taking it away from my total price. Okay. So that is the end of the lesson for today. What I would like for you to do is I'm going to place a question off to the side here, and I would like for you to solve it as your cool down. So there's going to be 2 questions, one dealing with a markup and one dealing with a markdown. And I would like for you to solve those questions as your cool down. Remember, if there's any questions that you have, please feel free to email me. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.